Hello EDCers, it's your man GrayMan here with another video. Today's video is actually going to switch it up a little bit. First video was about EDC knives. I think we had done a knife from the Petrified Fish brand. Today I actually wanted to do a video on something a little bit different, more centered around, maybe like your prepper food storage type of topic. So I actually started to look into starting to compile my own food storage here for the family, just in case I needed to get ready for my SHTF situation or bug out situation. And the brand I started to take a look at was Ready Hour brand, and I went online onto their site and purchased a couple different meals that they have there, and so I decided I would do a review on the spaghetti meal that they have on that site. But if you were to go to their site and take a look at it, they have all types of stuff on there. I mean, you got black bean burgers, macaroni and cheese spaghetti, many different types of things that you can get. And you could get like emergency food kits, boat foods, eggs, buttermilk pancakes, all types of things, man, that they have available on that site. But I decided to start with the emergency food kit, but I wanted to make sure that I tried out a couple different things before I actually decided whether I would go with it or not. I believe that my actual order that I had put in was for the mac and cheese case, the chili mac, and the spaghetti. So today we're actually going over a review for the spaghetti. So I'm going to cook it and everything on the video, and then give it a taste to see if if it's something that, and we all know that in a situation where food is scarce or anything of that nature, you're going to eat whatever you can get, right? But I think the intent of this video is just to say, okay, well, let's try out a couple different brands, a couple different meal options, and see which ones are actually, at least taste good, or, you wouldn't mind eating them if you had to for a couple days or so or more. So I think we'll go ahead and start there. I think what I'll do is go ahead and show you guys all of the different things you're going to need to actually prepare this meal. It's actually not that bad as far as preparation is concerned. As you can see here, so the brand here is Ready Hour Emergency Food Storage, and as you guys can see there, they advertise that this emergency food source has up to 25 years of shelf life on there. Have to dig into that a little bit more to find out if there's any fine print on that. But the packaging is pretty well. Like, I received this, it was in a box. I think the order that I got, I think it was 5 of these in the box. But it is made in the USA, which is always a good thing. And then if you flip it over, you get all of your information there. I was a little concerned to see that the calories appear to be very low, only 150 calories here per serving, which there is 8 servings within each container here, and the serving size is approximately 1/4 cup, 3/4 of a cup prepared. But I was kind of a little bit down about the amount of calories, because I feel like 150 calories was a little bit low. But we'll see what happens when you end up preparing the meal and seeing how I feel after I actually take in the meal itself. But as far as the preparation, it seems pretty easy here. I mean, it's just basically opening the package, putting it into a pot, and then boiling it up, and then mixing it up, and then let it kind of rest for a little bit. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and prepare all my materials, give you a look at that, and then we'll get right into the cooking. So as you can see here, I went on ahead and preparated everything. So I have my bag of contents of the spaghetti. I have a whisk here to whisk everything when I start to mix the ingredients. And then I also have, it calls for 7 cups of water for the preparation of the spaghetti. So I have 7 cups of water in my boiling pot here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that to a boil and start to include the ingredients. Okay, so I went on ahead and started the water to get the boiling so it wouldn't take that long for us to show you the content here we put it in. So I'm going to go ahead and open my bag of spaghetti here from Ready Hour and pour that in per the instructions. Definitely a big cloud of dust when I open that up there. As you guys can see here, the instructions are pretty laid out on the bag. Open the pouch, remove the oxygen absorber. I think that's very important. Make sure you do that. You don't want to go dumping that in. Whisk the contents of the pouch into 7 cups of water. Then bring it to a boil, and then basically put it back on medium and check on it occasionally over the course of 15 to 20 minutes. Then let it sit. So I'm going to look for that oxygen absorber. There he is. Don't have to do anything with that. Water's already boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and dump my contents into the pot here. Alrighty, got the contents in there. I'm going to give that stir. Make sure everything's good and mixed up. So it looks like what they did is basically the spaghetti sauce is a very powdery substance, almost like the consistency of like flour. So I'm going to give it a good mix. I'll have to tell you though, first impression is when I opened up the contents of the bag and that dust of the spaghetti sauce hit me in the face. I will have to say it smelled good. I do have to say it did have a really pleasant smell to it. So and I read some reviews right before I decided to go with the Ready Hour brand that the spaghetti was pretty good. People were saying they really enjoyed the spaghetti. So I think I got a good mix on it now. So I'm going to bring that to a boil and then let it boil for a little bit and then actually turn it down and let it simmer. So let me give you guys a look at how it looks when you first put it into the pot. So we're coming to a boil there, and then I'm going to let it boil, stir it a little bit more, and then I'm going to turn it down to medium and let it simmer. Okay guys, so I just turned it down to medium as you can see here on the stove, and I'm going to let that sit and simmer down a little bit and let it sit and simmer and just stir that maybe every few minutes here. So I'm going to let it cook for about 15-20 minutes, keep my eye on it for consistency and see what actually comes out. So I'll give you guys an update here in a few minutes. So while I'm waiting on it to simmer a little bit, I did want to give you guys a look at the nutritional panel here. I think I just kind of talked about the calories, but one thing that I'm always concerned about when you're talking about stored food for long periods of time or things that have to be preserved is the sodium, right? So looking here, I see the sodium is at right about 500 milligrams, which is about 22% of your daily value, which, to be honest, I actually thought it would be higher than that. When I hear things like 25-year shelf life or things of that nature, I think that the sodium would just be out of whack. I thought it'd be more around like 700 milligrams or something of that nature. So 500 is a lot to take in one meal. But, I feel like it could be a whole lot worse. The fat content is very low, which probably contributes to the fact that the calories aren't very high. But I did also notice that, it does have the call out here of the potassium, iron, and calcium that it provides here. Not giving you much of anything in terms of vitamin D here, which makes sense, but just thought I'd make sure that you guys took a look at that and can see that information also. So stay tuned. We should be able to get around to taking a look at the spaghetti to see if it's thickening it up a little bit. All right, guys, so we're about 5 minutes into the to the cooking time here. Just wanted to give you another update here. So if you take a look, you can see the sauce is starting to thicken up quite a bit there. I did give it a stir, but again, I have to say it smells actually pretty good. I think in the next one I might take a little bit of a taste on that sauce to see, you know, spaghetti, you always got to taste to see where the sauce is at. So we'll take a taste of that here in the next update. All right, guys, we got about 2 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down and let it rest for a little bit. It says to let it sit for about 5 or 6 minutes. I decided not to taste the sauce. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, at the end, put it into a bowl, get the full experience, get that on tape so you guys can see my reaction and everything. I didn't want to, you know, go in and taste the sauce and then, you know, have some kind of preemptive reaction to that and not give it its due time or due review. So I'm going to go ahead and let that rest for a few minutes, put it into a bowl, and then set up my table over here and let you guys see, you know, my reaction to the taste and everything. All right, guys, so I think we're all good here. As you can see, it's a little bit thicker, still a little runny, but a lot thicker than it was when we first started. So I'm going to go ahead and pour me up a little bit here. Get a better spoon. Given the consistency, I think that using this later will be a little bit better. So get that on in there. There we go. And give you guys a good little look at that. So we got us a nice little bowl of spaghetti. Ready our spaghetti. All right, let's go over to the table and... All right, guys, here we go. The moment you've been waiting for. Let's see. Ready hour, 25-year shelf life spaghetti. Let's give it a try. It's a little bit thicker. I think this might actually be more of a spoon type thing with it because, like I said, it is a little runny. I'll say it doesn't smell bad, and for some reason it smelled better while you're cooking it than after it sits. But I will say that it definitely has a really good smell to it as you're cooking it. Like, this is definitely not just noodles and freeze-dried spaghetti sauce. Like, I think they put a lot more spices and things in there. You know, I kind of got a hint of oregano, maybe some Italian blend type things in there. And I actually, right when I poured it in, I did kind of see some more lighter colored spices that were in there. So I think that they are adding other spices into the mix there and not just, you know, freeze-dried spaghetti sauce. So let's go. I will say that the noodles do seem to be a little bit closer to mushy, I guess you can say. But again, it's ready hour food, right? This is for something so you can survive. So let's go. I'm going to start off here. It is a little hot still, so I'm going to let that cool off a little bit. Start out with a nice little bite. Let's see what happens here. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't say that we're out in a 5-star Italian restaurant here, but I think it is manageable. So I think expectations have to be on par when you're talking about food to sustain you if something was to happen and you did not have immediate access to food, right? And you're trying to make sure that you can feed your family and sustain for a certain period of time until you can actually come up with a plan for a more long-term food supply. Like I mentioned earlier, there's definitely some oregano and other spices, basil. I smell a little basil in there, so, or taste a little basil in there. So I would say this: the noodles definitely might be a little bit overcooked, but I think it's definitely manageable. Like, this is something that if I had to eat it for 2-3 days, I think I could get away with it. I really do. I think I could get away with eating this if I had to for 2-3 days. And let's not leave out the fact that, you can add things to this. I think I had mentioned or talked about the low calories a little bit earlier with being on low calorie count, 3/4 of a cup, which this is a little bit more than 3/4 of a cup. So I might be getting about, closer to 300 calories in this one. But you could always add your own meat, more spices and things of that nature, right? This is just out the box, straight out the box, nothing added, not me doctoring it up, not me putting my spin on it. And I think this is very manageable. I think you can get your kids to eat this. I actually think this is pretty good. I'm going to finish this. Matter of fact, we might be eating this tomorrow for lunch. So, the fact that I'm actually willing to go back in and take more bites, I think is a great sign. So, on a scale of 1 to 5 for the Ready Hour spaghetti, I would say, and what I'm taking into context here is this is a food source for when you need to have access to food in times of stress and crisis. So I'm not giving this score based on, is this, mom's spaghetti from when you grew up or anything of that nature, or my doctored up version of spaghetti. This score will be based on food that I would have to eat and be willing to eat in a time of stress and crisis. Would I be willing to eat it for multiple days at a time? Straight out of the box, not me adding anything to it. Things of that nature. So on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being I'm going to throw this thing in the trash and I'd rather starve, to 5 being that, hey man, I could eat this thing all week if I had to. I feel like, this is basically a home cooked meal kind of situation. I would probably score this I would give it a 3.5. Solid 3.5. I think once you, so 3.5 straight out of the box, but you can easily make this a 5. If you threw some meat in there, if you had access to some meat and, your own spices or whatever, put your little spin on it, this could easily be a 5 and be something that you can eat. And stockpile. So to me, anything over a 3, I wouldn't mind stockpiling. So I will most likely be ordering more of the spaghetti from the Ready Hour brand and put that into my, shit hits the fan, bug out type of situational plan. So with that said, this is your man GrayMan. Ready Hour spaghetti review. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 possible points, and I would recommend this. So you guys give it a try. Also, make sure you like the video. This is a new channel. Like the video. Put any comments in there. I want to hear if anyone else has actually tried this and what you thought about it. Your thoughts about it might be different than mine. So put your thoughts into the comment comments box. I will make sure that I have descriptions and everything, links to their site, things of that nature in the video description. And please turn on those notifications and make sure you subscribe to the site. Thank you. This is GrayMan, and thank you for watching EDC, GrayMan EDC and Outdoors reviews. Thank you.